Hello YouTube, and hello to you, my fellow metalheads. This is Duke Grishnak reporting in to you guys for another video. Before we start, just a disclaimer, if you are afraid of snakes, you might not want to watch the video. I do have ball python in my hands, so if that's a problem, apologize. But just to let you guys know, might happen from time to time in some of my videos. Love me, my reptiles. But anyway, this video is going to be talking about my favorite deathcore bands, and it's not really a top 10 list like my other lists have been. It's more of a list of 12 bands, and it's not in any particular order. It is, I have it marked here in what order I'm going to be talking about them, but it's not in a perfect ranking system of this is my 12th favorite, this is my first favorite. It's a little bit more rough and hard to place than that. I wanted to do a 10 video, but it was hard to keep it to 10. So I'm going to jump right in. First one is Slaughter to Prevail, newer band. If you haven't checked them out, go ahead, check them out. They're a Russian band. They do sing in English in their music. Well, see, Slaughter to Prevail, I had heard of them because I was attending Summer Slaughter 2016, and it was the first time I'd heard of them, and they were one of the opening bands, or one of the first several bands playing. And I really liked them, and at first when I had looked up their music, I listened to a song or two, just a music video, and thought that they were a heavier band, more along the lines of like death metal, brutal death metal, with highs and lows combined. When I had actually listened to them live and started listening to their actual music, I was like, oh shit, I was definitely wrong with that. They are fundamentally a deathcore band, but the reason I like them is because they try to be brutal. And deathcore bands aren't always about brutality. They're not always about like the as much as, like, let's say death metal, or more extreme death metals like slam brutal death metal. But they really force that side of the aspect of deathcore, and it's nice. It's a little different. They don't blow me away. Some people say they can be a little generic in their breakdowns and whatnot, possibly. But for what they are, they're a solid band. Not like my favorite band. That's why they're not towards the end of the list. But solid fucking band. Definitely check them out if you have not. All Shall Perish. Not going to talk about them too much. I kind of got into them later in the game, but they got some couple solid ass albums out there. Some deathcore classics. And honestly, part of the reason I listen to deathcore and grindcore is some of the more political aspects in it. And I'm not really going to go into too much about politics, but I do agree with a decent amount of what All Shall Perish talks about in politics. And I'm just going to kind of leave it at that. And that's part of the reason I listen to some types of music. And if that's the reason you don't listen to a certain band, that's the reason you don't listen to a certain band. But for that particular band, is one of my main draws for them. Arsonists, Get All the Girls, kind of iffy on the deathcore. They are basically deathcore. Some people call them a little bit of metalcore. Some people call, deathcore electronica combination, whatever the hell. That's why I like them. They're kind of hard to place. They are fundamentally a deathcore band, but they're not as extreme and heavy sounding as some other bands. They're very keyboard heavy, and they do love their special effects, but I really think it adds to it. It almost adds sort of like a Nintendo core sort of vibe to the music without taking over it. And I like that. It's a very unique sound. They don't take themselves too seriously, but they take themselves seriously enough to be serious musicians, if that makes sense. They like to have fun, great live performances. The thumbnail, for example, of this video is going to actually be a picture of me with the current lead vocalist from Arsonists, Get All the Girls. So next one, Job for a Cowboy. The only reason I put them lower down on this list is simply because they're not really a deathcore band these days. They've mixed it up a little bit. They've gotten heavier, gone a little more traditional death metal. Every album they do was a little bit different, so they're kind of hard to place. But the main reason they're on here is because Doom EP just fucking blows my mind. It's the first time I ever heard Pig Squeals, so that's cool. There's that. and it's a solid fucking album. It's an EP. I just like Job for a Cowboy. Everything they've done has been pretty solid. I know some people have certain gripes with them, but I like all their work just to various amounts and various degrees. But all in all, solid band. Next one, Lorna Shore, a newer band as well, blackened deathcore, and that's why I really like them. With a name like Duke Grishnak, you gotta expect that I do like my black metal. So I like the little pinch of black metal. I've never really heard any other black and death metal bands going on in the world, and that's cool. There probably are some other ones. Yo, if you know any, drop that shit down in the comments. I would really, really fucking appreciate it. So yeah, that's why I like them. Black and death metal, good live, solid fucking band. And yeah, that's about all I have to say for them. Seen them live at Summer Slaughter too. Fucking great shit. Angel Maker, once again, see them at Summer Slaughter. Notice a theme here. I love that tour. Jesus Christ. I love Angel Maker because of the fact that they have this some more old school deathcore vibe, but it's not too old school that it seems cheesy, right? So when I say that, what I mean is that they have a little bit of group chants and whatnot in their lyrics, group shouts, whatever you want to call them. It's kind of nice. They like the dual vocals that they have. They literally have two lead singers instead of just one and backing vocals. It was cool seeing them live like that. A lot of energy, and it's sort of bringing back old school deathcore without seeming to be generic and rehashing the same material. They sort of bring a new feel into the old school. It's kind of hard to explain, but nonetheless, if you like old school deathcore and you want something new and inventive in the same way, I don't know how else to describe Angel Core. I say core so many times. Angel Maker. Definitely fucking check them out. It's one word, by the way. Through the Eyes of the Dead, just did an album review about them. Super stoked they're back together. Not seen them live or at Summer Slaughter. I have, however, seen Circuit of Suns. The drummer is actually in Circuit of Suns as well. It's a decent band too. Yeah. Through the Eyes of the Dead, I had discussed on my album review of their newest album, Dismiss. Great band in the fact that they're more brutal, and at the same time, because they are a more brutal, heavy-hitting deathcore band, it is kind of odd to also say that they are more melodic. You could argue for or against that, but yeah, you know what I'm trying to say. Is that they're both very hard-hitting and fast and very melodic at the same time, but they still retain sort of deathcore roots. And it's a band that's a little harder to play sometimes. I like to just call them straight up melodic deathcore is the best way. Look at it. But yeah, solid shit. I'm very influential in the early scene, and I'm so goddamn glad they're back. Fit for an Autopsy, only really got into them in literally a few months ago. I say few months, 8 or 9 months, almost a year. Solid goddamn band. Holy shit, their newest album, Great Collapse, is one of my favorite fucking deathcore albums of all time, and it has only just recently been released. The album before that, Absolute Hate, Absolute Hell, Absolute Hope, I don't know, some shit like that. Great fucking album too. I like them because they have clean vocals, and when they do the clean vocals, it does not water down, it doesn't distort the music, it's not overdone, it's very well and strategically placed, and it really adds to sort of the memorable elements in their music and gives them a more unique vibe, because when they do the clean vocals on the stage, solid shit. It really adds to the song, it adds to the memorableness of it, it adds to the ability to sing along to the lyrics and to have recognizable lyrics. Also, I like them for their more political leanings and whatnot. They do a solid album, or they do a solid song about the Dakota Pipeline. Where the fuck is my brain today? The Dakota Pipeline that's happening, that whole issue, and, global warming, fracking, I don't know, all that kind of stuff. Solid shit, especially if you're a little bit more left-leaning, and that's why I like them, because I am. I'd understand why you wouldn't like them if you weren't in that case. I wouldn't blame you, if you were more Wing, I don't blame you for not really liking Fit for an Autopsy, but their actual music content nonetheless is fucking amazing. It just personally helps because I tend to be on that side of things. But, I'm here to talk about musical stuff and not necessarily politics. So, Suicide Silence, normally I would have put them on the top, but with the issues they're facing right now, with their new album, with the very, very recent, very unfortunate accusations against Eddie Hermida for trying to, he got some nudes and sent nudes to some 16-year-old, I think in Belgium, which is kind of weird because, at the same time, Belgium's legal age of consent is like 16. I don't really know all the details. It might not even be in Belgium. That's just something I've heard been brought up. I don't know the specifics. Goddamn, I need to make another goddamn video on that shit. Are you kidding me? No, you know what? I'm not even going to bother with that. But nonetheless, the music's solid. They helped bring a lot of fucking people into deathcore. The first deathcore band I ever listened to, The Cleansing, No Time to Bleed, solid goddamn fucking albums. Deathcore fucking champs, just legends on those albums. I really like the Black Crown too. I know some people are a little wishy-washy on it, but I think that that's a solid fucking album too. And yeah, fucking Suicide Silence. But like I said, Jesus, what the hell are you doing right now, guys? Oh my god, I don't know. I already ranted about them. I'm done talking about their shit. I'm gonna go on to Molotov Solution. Probably not surprised given the fact that I have mentioned about some of my little bit of my political leanings on things. That's why I really like Molotov Solution is they really stress the core elements in the fact that when I think of core, I think of like hardcore, think of hardcore punk. It all has, a root word and goes back. So when I think of deathcore and I think of grindcore, I believe that fundamentally a decent chunk of the music tends to be more political. It doesn't have to be. It can be a little bit more about violence and philosophically things, which I guess goes more into political. But you know what I mean. It's not as just over the top about violence and war and crazy serial killers and crap that, say, death metal is. It's more focused on what's going on in our society. Like, war itself can be more of a political-based topic and not necessarily just about blood and guts and gore and all that. Yeah, but anyway, Molotov Solution is a very left-leaning band, and they're a solid deathcore band. The only reason they're not really number one, and they're kind of tied into Suicide Silence, in my opinion, personally, is just because the music itself, it is good. It's solid deathcore, but there's nothing particularly about Molotov Solution's musical sound that really blows me away. There's nothing like super duper unique about them like some of the other bands that I had mentioned, but they are solid, just generical deathcore. The thing is I really love the lyrical content. They're always singing about corporate takeovers and proletariat revolutionary things, and I don't know. It's a bunch of fucking like anarchist, communist, fucking lefty, liberal shit that some people love and some people hate, whatever. But I tend to be a little bit more on the left, so I like that kind of shit. It basically reminds me of a deathcore band that sings punk lyrics. So if you want to listen to punk and you really like hardcore heavy shit, then check out Molotov Solution. If you don't want to listen to a punk band, then don't listen to Molotov Solution because it really gets boiled down. What Molotov Solution is singing about is the solution to your problems is throwing a Molotov. They're a very revolutionary band, and that's why I like them, but that's why some people don't like them. So if you're more on my side of things, then you're going to like them. If you're not, you're not going to like them. But that's that. Not here to talk about politics. We're here to talk about the music, people. But with certain genres of music, it's kind of hard to not 100% talk about politics. Like, you're not going to do a top 10 fucking punk list and it not involve politics. It's going to happen. So, anyway, the final band that I'm going to be listening. I cannot speak English today. The final band that I'm going to be listing is Infant Annihilator, and I was debating putting them in the middle simply because they only have 2 albums, and honestly, it's mostly for their newest album, Grand Ecclesiarchal the Grannyval Ecclesiarchal, whatever the living shit sentence of a fucking title that fucking album is. You all know what I'm talking about. But Jesus, it is an amazing goddamn album. I cannot stress to you enough. It is a fucking 11 out of 10 if you ask me. Whew, Jesus. I mean, their first album, their debut album, is solid. 7.58 out of 10. It's solid, but I think they really found their roots with this newest album, and it's just great. It is some of the most ferocious, brutal shit. There are slam bands out there that are not as brutal as fucking Infant Annihilator and that fucking album in particular. The fucking Granny Paula Clerical, whatever the living Clariok shit fuck, whatever the hell that is. It's fucking just so goddamn intense. And there's some parts where I don't even think Dickie Allen is a fucking human being. Where he just... It sounds like there's 10 goddamn vocalists happening in all the fucking same time. And it just blows your goddamn fucking mind away. It's a very powerful, intense fucking sound. And the fucking musicianship is just fucking insanely godly fast at times, but at the same time they can do some of the most slow, gut-wrenching breakdowns, almost doomy at times, because it's just so fucking slow and nitty and fucking gritty. And Jesus Christ, I am so goddamn excited for the future of what Infant Annihilator holds. While I'm on here, honorable mention, Vulvodynia. I kind of put them in the death metal one, but they're death metal-y with a little bit of deathcore. Just like I was tempted to put Infant Annihilator in death metal, but I feel like Infant Annihilator is... Just like how I put Vulvodynia in death metal, because it is mostly death metal with a little bit of deathcore. I put Infant Annihilator in my deathcore because it is deathcore with a little bit of death metal in the brutality aspects of it and whatnot. But yeah, honorable mention for them. Also, yeah, if you made it this far, here you go. She literally did absolutely nothing this whole damn time except for sit on me. So, sorry, I was like, there's a snake in this, be careful if you don't like snakes. But if you made it this far, I think you're probably wondering why she hasn't been shown. Here she is. Oh, Snakey. Goodbye, guys. She's so cute.